Ah! Yo, what's goody with y'all, man? Yo, man, what's goody, man? Yo, this is Reef'Lik.
And this is Leaky.
And this is Reef'Lik.
Anime Horror Gang!
What's good with y'all, man? Got another video.
Today we're going to be reacting to Mr. Ballin.
Yo, man, shout out to Mr. Ballin, man. Mr. Ballin's the GOAT, man. Y'all, please go subscribe to Mr. Ballin, man. He got all our support over here. We love Mr. Ballin so much on this channel over here. Y'all, please go support him.
So please like, comment, subscribe, and join our big happy family.
Yes, y'all, join the family, man. Anime Horror Gang, y'all. Once y'all join the family, you're an Anime Horror Gang for life, man. You're a Supreme Kai over here. You're a loser over here. We love y'all over here so much, man. Anime Horror Gang, join us, man. We always will be family over here, and we would love to entertain y'all every week. So please subscribe to us so y'all can see our videos and stuff, because we love entertaining y'all. We love making sure that y'all have a better day throughout the week. So please sit back, relax, and let's begin. All right, y'all. We're going to be checking out Mr. Ballin's video. A forest so evil it's illegal to enter. So we don't know what happened in this video. So we gonna hope that this video is good. Let's see what Mr. Ballin gonna throw at us today. Let's get it.
I have to start today's video with a disclaimer. Don't go to Dudleytown, Connecticut. This is not a prank, it's not a stunt, it's not clickbait, it's the truth. I'm confident that at the end of this video, there are going to be people that want to go. Don't do it. One, it's illegal to go to Dudleytown, it's private property. And two, as you'll see in today's video, there is a reason why people abandoned Dudleytown. It is
He's not going there then. We're not going there.
You have to tell me twice.
I know Reef'Lik is horror and anime, but there's limits, y'all, that we're not going to take. Like me and Leaky is not going to put our lives in danger. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
If you're a fan of the strange, dark, and mysterious delivered in story format, then you've come to the right place, because that's all we do, and we upload once a week. So, if that's of interest to you, the next time the like button is playing an intense game of online FIFA, wait until they get the lead and then unplug their Wi-Fi.
Yo.
Also, please subscribe to our channel and turn on all notifications so you don't miss.
Let's get Mr. Ballin, man. Go subscribe to him, man.
Ghost Town.
Ghost Town.
It was a bright summer day in 1906, and Dr. William C. Clark and his wife Harriet were driving slowly through a beautiful part of northwestern Connecticut called Litchfield County. Litchfield is a rural, very hilly area with lots of winding country roads, and the Clarks were there to try to scout out an area to build their second home. The couple lived full-time in New York City, where Dr. Clark was an oncologist, which is a cancer doctor, and he was also a professor at the Columbia College of Physicians and Surgeons. And while the Clarks' lives were very exciting and fulfilling in the city, they were also very hectic and chaotic, and so the reason they had settled on Litchfield as the place to look for a location for their second home is because it was the total opposite of the city. It was quiet, it was peaceful, it was perfect. And so as this couple from New York City drove along these winding backcountry roads, they eventually reached this beautiful covered wooded bridge, and after
I like that.
Why did that look like the thing over Scooby-Doo's Witches Ghosts? That's crazy. I just thought about that.
Was this huge,
if this place is
shaded, beautiful forest, and they saw there was a road that appeared to kind of spider off and go into these woods. Now, the couple had no idea what was up there, but it was just so beautiful, and they were immediately so drawn to it that they decided they would go check it out and see if maybe there was a spot for their second home in these woods. And so Dr. Clark took the car and he went up this access road, and very quickly, as they began climbing up this hillside, the road became very bumpy and overgrown. It was pretty obvious that not many cars were driving into these woods, and so before they even reached the tree line, Dr. Clark had to pull the car over and park it on the side of the road, and then he and Harriet got out, and then on foot, they continued up towards the forest. And once the couple actually entered the forest, immediately the sunlight faded because the canopy over their heads was so thick, and the air became cool and refreshing. And after walking for only a couple of minutes, The forest, which at first seemed very still and quiet, suddenly became alive. They could hear birds chirping and animals running around and insects buzzing. And then up ahead, they saw there was this field off to the side of the road that was full of all these wild apple trees growing in all different directions. And as they got closer, they saw there was just a deer right in the middle of the apple trees eating apples directly off the branches. And then, just past all these apple trees, the couple began passing these huge, beautiful patches of roses and lilacs and bright yellow bitter tansy flowers that lined the road. And then before long, the couple was stepping over these babbling brooks, and off in the distance they could hear the sound of running water like fresh spring water coming down off the mountain. And then, as the sun did begin to poke through the canopy above them, it almost looked like the forest was sparkling, literally. This forest was sitting on a hillside, and the hillside, which was made up of rock, had mica inside of it. And mica is a kind of mineral that when sunlight hits it, it almost looks like it's shimmering. And of course, there were the owls. As Dr. Clark and his wife walked farther and farther into this beautiful forest, they heard more and more owls hooting off in the distance. And to the Clarks, this made the forest feel enchanted. It was like the
Owls be
were
looking so
personally
weird to
greeted.
me.
By the time the
Man,
couple
like those
had turned
eyes
around,
though.
Yeah, I
man.
love owls, but they look
had
weird.
already made up their mind
Man, those
that they were
black
going to have
eyes.
their second home in the forest. And so,
And they look
after
beautiful,
returning to their home
too.
in New York, they promptly put in the paperwork to purchase 1,000 acres inside of that Connecticut forest. And that forest had a name. It was called Dark Entry, and it was named that because it looked like from the outside, the forest was basically dark all the time. There was shade cast on it from mountains nearby, and then also the canopy inside the Dark Entry is exceptionally thick. At one time, there actually had been a town inside of Dark Entry Forest.
Oh, heck
However, all the people who had lived in that town were now all gone. The only remnants of this town
Man.
were a couple of crumbling stone walls and a couple of home foundations that were scattered
Man,
about
that's
the Dark
it?
Entry Forest floor. The Clarks had seen some of these ruins
Oh,
as they
heck
walked
no.
along this overgrown path through the forest, but they weren't concerned. Instead, they felt like these ruins actually added some charm to the forest. After the land purchase was finalized, Dr. Clark began looking for local builders in Connecticut who could help him build this second home inside of Dark Entry Forest. But no matter how much money he offered these local Connecticut builders, they all said no. Now, none of them gave a straight answer to Dr. Clark about why they were turning him down, so Dr. Clark just kind of assumed that, hey, this project is not huge, it's just one house, and the forest is pretty isolated and hard to get to, and so he thought, probably...
I mean, they try to warn you.
It's not worth the
Yeah,
effort.
I
But
mean-
Dr. Clark
I know he
was
don't
not
know,
discouraged.
but
He decided he would just build the house himself. After all,
I
he was
mean-
a very handy, competent guy who had grown up on a farm.
I can't. Yeah, I'm just saying, like, they try to warn you without telling you what's wrong.
I feel like
I'm not living in no forest that I know there ain't a lot of people there. Like, I need a civilization near me.
like if there was once a town, and another thing is the fact that every last one of them refused to help build a house. That just tells you something
Like,
right
something's
there.
bad. Like, without even telling
I
you.
love his stories. Like it's just the eeriness behind it, like the unknown.
Yeah, like, oh my
Jersey,
goodness.
And so he knew how to build things.
What's
And
about
so
to
For the
happen?
next several months, Dr. Clark would travel from New York City to Dark Entry Forest every weekend, and he would build this home. First, he cut down this massive swath of
He
hemlock
built the
trees
house by
on this
himself?
one flat patch of his land.
Carpenter.
And then with all this lumber he had cut down, he built his rustic two-story cabin on this flat part of his land. And then nearby on this hilltop, there was a freshwater spring at the top, and so he laid piping from the spring into his cabin so they could have fresh water. And then at the bottom of this nearby hill was this brook, and Dr. Clark loved just standing and watching this brook because inside of it were all these trout that would dart all around. And so Dr. Clark built a swimming pool with beautiful mossy embankments right up against this brook so he could sit there and watch the fish. By Thanksgiving of that year, the cabin was done, and so Dr. Clark and his wife Harriet, they stayed at the cabin to celebrate the holiday. And as they were sitting in their swimming pool, watching the trout and listening to the owls hoot off in the distance, they both agreed that this second home was like their little piece of heaven. So every summer from there on
Yeah,
out,
it's nice,
and every
but
major
what's the
holiday
catch?
that they could
Yeah.
manage it, the Clarks would travel to their home in dark entry forest, and they would swim and hike and relax, and they'd watch the leaves on the mountainside turn from green to bright yellows and oranges and reds. It was perfect. That is, until 1918. That summer,
I can't
Yeah, what happened?
Nibbles. It's always, yo, Death Knight, buff my armor. Hey, Death Knight, get yourself...
the couple was in their second home in the forest when Dr. Clark was suddenly called back to New York to attend to a medical emergency. Harriet was very upset at the prospect of suddenly being left alone in this cabin in the middle of the forest by herself.
Yeah.
Who knows how many days. And so when she dropped her husband off at the nearby train platform, she made him promise that he would come back soon. And he said he would. And then Dr. Clark got on the train, it took off, and Harriet just stood there with her arms crossed, watching it as it chugged along off into the distance. From his comfortable seat on that train, Dr. Clark had no idea that his wife was about to endure a nightmare while he was gone.
I mean,
Dang.
from a place named Dark though, like that doesn't raise any red flags right there.
I just feel like, you know, like I just feel like y'all, like if y'all enjoy being in the woods and stuff like that, that's y'all. Go do y'all. You know what I'm saying? We not judging you or nothing. I just feel like, you know, like be cautious about where you're going to, because like everywhere you go is going to be danger. Like when me and Leaky Leak was growing up, like my mom told us, like, we always be telling our mom, oh, we about to get out the hood, and stuff like that. And then she be like, I mean, I don't know why you saying it like that. It's always going to be danger everywhere you go. It's not like you could avoid it.
Yeah.
And when she said that, y'all, that really is true, because you cannot avoid danger coming your way. Like, it's going to come to you at some point in your life. Like, you cannot avoid danger.
Nope.
You can't avoid it.
Man. So I wonder what
Like that storm that me and you just went, y'all, the storm me and Leaky Leak just went through in Buffalo. Y'all, we're going to make a story time about that, but it's like, yo, like me and Leaky Leak, we almost, oh my God. Wait until we do the story. We're going to tell y'all in the story time.
Yeah.
Let's get back to
The
it.
story.
What happened?
When the Clarks bought their 1,000 acres in the dark entry forest, they did virtually no research on the forest or the surrounding area. If they had, they very likely would not have purchased that land.
And it wasn't
You
no
see,
phones
the
or
town
nothing.
that used to be
No
inside
smartphones or
the dark
nothing.
entry forest
No Google.
was now in
Man.
ruins that the Clarks saw when they first walked around inside of the forest was abandoned for a very specific reason. It was cursed. At least that's what the locals say. And in fact, that was the reason why no builders in the area were willing to go with Dr. Clark into the forest to go build his house, because they were too scared to go anywhere near the ruins of this cursed town.
I
This
understand
town,
now.
which was
It's
known as
cursed?
Dudley
Man.
Town, was first settled sometime in the 1740s. At first, it was just a couple of people and a couple of small structures, but pretty quickly, 30 families had moved in, and it was a thriving little town. But as the 1700s came to a close, terrible things began to happen to residents of this town. First, there was the Carter family. They moved to Dudleytown in 1759, and shortly after arriving there, 6 members of their family all died suddenly.
Wait a minute, what?
The remaining branch of the Carter family was so grief-stricken from their losses that they left Dudleytown and went to New York, where they resettled. But almost immediately after getting set up there, Native Americans raided their property and massacred them. And the 3
Oh
members
my
of the
God,
massacre
man.
were 3 of the kids, and they were all kidnapped and taken away. In 1792, a Dudley resident named Hollister died suddenly. Now, we don't know if he fell off a roof or if he was murdered. No one really knows. But what we can agree on is that his untimely death happened in the home of a man named Tanner. And Tanner, following Hollister's death, suddenly just began obsessively talking about these strange creatures he was seeing out in the woods at night, kind of roaming around.
Oh my
the
God.
forest. And he talked about it all the time, and nobody listened to him. And eventually, Tanner went insane, and his daughter had to care for him for the rest of his life. And while Tanner was slowly
Man.
losing his mind, his next-door neighbor, named Abel, also began reporting that he was seeing weird creatures roaming around the tree line all around the town. And as Abel continued to report seeing these strange creatures lurking in the shadows, he too slowly went mad and had to be cared for until his death. In the early 1800s, a famous
Man, this is not
revolutionary...
no coincidence, man.
Yo, if there's constantly bad things happening like in different time spans, it's kind of like, yo, I gotta go. Like, first you hearing people missing, then people is like they're disappearing. First people is getting murdered by different people. Then you hearing people going insane, seeing stuff in the woods. Then it's diseases. Then it's this and this and that. Bruh, I feel like, what does it have to take for you to leave?
Man, I'm not gonna lie. All that cannot be coincidence. Like, all that literally just happened. Man, at that point, the town's cursed.
war hero.
Like, that's just nuts.
Swift, who lived in Dundee,
And then it's kind of making you feel like, okay, if this stuff is happening to everybody, it ain't happened to me yet. I need to go because I don't want that coming. I don't want that bad juju coming on to me and my family. Like, nah.
Lost his mind shortly after his wife was struck by lightning, and then in
What?
1915, an unknown epidemic rolled through Dudleytown and killed many of its residents. After that, more and more
that
residents
town's
of
cursed,
Dudleytown
man.
either died suddenly or died mysteriously, and also more and more residents began coming forward with stories about having seen these strange, shadowy creatures moving around the tree line at night. By about 19...
I understand that one person was saying it and then like nobody believe them. But if multiple people is saying that they're seeing creatures out in the woods,
there has to be, man, there's something out there or something.
it's
man.
a curse. It's cursed.
Residents had either
Shoot.
died or simply just left, abandoning their homes, except for one family, the Brophies. But in quick succession, the Brophy family's sheep all died, then the mother died of tuberculosis, then the two sons were accused of theft in a nearby town, and then they just disappeared, leaving one person, John Brophy, the father. But the Brophy family home burned to the ground, and so John, who was overcome with grief, just wandered off into the forest and was never heard from again. At that point, Dudleytown officially became a ghost town. No one lived there. And it was at that point, in 1906, when Dr. Clark and Harriet had their beautiful summer's day walk through the forest and discovered where they wanted to build their second home. So, fast forward back to 1918, and Dr. Clark, he's on his medical emergency leave to New York. It winds up being very quick. He's back on a train within 36 hours, and he pulls into the station right near Dark Entry Forest, and he's expecting to see Harriet waiting on the platform for him. But when the train rolled into the station, she wasn't there. Now, Dr. Clark was not a superstitious person, but for some reason, when he didn't see his wife there, he just felt like something was off. There's no reason she wouldn't have come out here to greet him. I mean, she was worried about being all alone in the cabin, and she knew he was going to be arriving at that moment. And so, feeling a little bit panicked, Dr. Clark left the train station and, on foot, made his way over to the Dark Entry Forest. And when he got there and began walking on that overgrown road path that led to his house, immediately, as soon as he was within the shade of the trees, he began hearing these owls hooting very loudly off in the distance. Now, normally, the sound of these owls hooting made him feel welcome, but this time he felt scared. He felt like something was wrong up ahead. And so he began jogging through the forest, and it's very dark, and all he can hear is the sound of these owls, and it's getting louder and louder and louder. And then finally he reaches the clearing where his property is. And at this point, it's a cacophony of owls hooting practically right on top of him, and he looks up towards his house up on this hill, and he sees the front door is slightly open. And so now, with his heart racing, wondering what's going on with his wife,
oh my God,
he runs up to his front porch, he gets to the door, and he flings it open the rest of the way, and then right before he stepped into his house, this sudden high-pitched noise began up on the second floor inside of his house. And it was so startling to Dr. Clark that he just froze where he was. And so suddenly it's so loud from the owls all around him and the woods behind him and whatever this noise is that he just stood there unsure what to do. And so as he's sitting there getting the courage up to go investigate his house, he realizes what this high-pitched noise is. It's the sound of maniacal, insane laughter coming from the second floor. Sensing his
Yo.
wife had to be in danger, the doctor charged up the nearby steps up to the second floor, and he could tell this laughter, this high-pitched laughter, was coming from the master bedroom. And so he ran down the short hallway, he got in front of the closed door that led into the master bedroom, he slowly opened it up, and there, in the back corner of his room, was his wife. She was on the ground, rolled up in a ball, facing the door. Her hands were clenched like fists.
Oh, no.
Her eyes were open and unblinking, and her mouth was open wider than was humanly possible. And as he's staring at his wife, wondering what's going on, he realizes this insane, high-pitched laughter is coming from his wife. But it doesn't even look like it's coming
Oh,
out of her. Her chest
hell
is
no.
moving. Her mouth is
Yo,
slowly
I'd be so
Oh,
scared at that,
no.
man.
and so the
I'd be
doctor
so
just stood there
scared,
watching
man.
His wife who's staring directly at his eyes. And finally, he just got so scared, he turned and he ran.
Man,
Dr. Clark's 36 hours he was away in New York.
Would that'd be
Something happened to his
creepy.
wife. We don't know what it was.
Can you imagine running up there and be like seeing your wife like that, or your husband like that, and they just screaming like with their eye, like they don't look like them.
man.
They look like someone completely different.
Yo, that's crazy. Man,
Like, what
that's
happened to her?
terrifying right there, man. Yeah, that's what I would be afraid of. Like, what
Like, what
happened while
to
he
you
was gone?
But it caused
Man.
her to lose her mind. The only thing she would talk about was the strange creatures she saw out in the
Oh
forest.
my god.
By some accounts, Harriet spent the rest of her life in a mental asylum. By
Damn.
other accounts, she went back with Dr. Clark to New York, where she took her life. Today, Dudleytown is
She
not
took her
only
life?
abandoned, but it is also illegal to visit. However, people do still sneak in.
Oh, yeah, y'all bugging.
Walk around the ruins.
Y'all
and
bugging.
Many of them
Yeah.
have reported feeling these pockets of cold air where there shouldn't be cold air, and also some others have said as they've been walking, they've felt phantom hands slap them and push them. Some have said they've taken photographs inside of the dark entry forest near Dudleytown, and they've captured strange, shadowy figures that they couldn't see with their naked eye. The famous paranormal couple, Ed and Lorraine Warren,
Oh,
shot a special
man.
series in the 1970s inside of the dark entry forest, and they declared the area around Dudleytown was demonically possessed. So that's gonna do it.
Wow, they even went there?
Episode
Man, I'm not gonna lie.
They did so much.
Button is playing an intense game of online FIFA.
I didn't even know that.
Take the lead.
They probably, y'all, they probably got so many cases that we don't even know exist. They just kept in the back of the
Like
closet.
in the vault or something.
They got some stuff in the vault that they ain't even released yet. I know like the movies and stuff be dragging it, but I feel like, dude, Ed and Lorraine Warren probably got some stuff that they don't even want the world to see.
Yeah.
Like-
On Monday mornings and on Thursday mornings, we put out the remastered audio of our best YouTube videos. Again, the podcast. is
All right,
called
y'all,
Mr. Ballin' Pod-
Go shout out to Mr. Ballin, man. Go subscribe to him, man. Go check out his little podcast joint, man. He got a little podcast and stuff. This is crazy.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. This story.
We are not going there.
Yeah, that freaked me. Man, it freaked me out, man. Especially when he walked up the stairs and you know it was his wife doing that. Man.
Mr. Ballin got us at this one. And he warned y'all too. He warned y'all, don't go there. And if you go there and you bring something back home, don't get mad at him. He warned y'all. And we're warning y'all too.
Yeah.
Don't go there.
Yeah, don't go.
So yeah, y'all, that's the end of the video, y'all. Me and Leaky Leak has to go. We'll see y'all until the next reaction. Join Anime Heart Gang, y'all. Join us for real, man. Please like, comment, and subscribe to us as well. We'll see y'all next time.
Peace.
Deuces.